Have you ever seen the ballet called the Nutcracker or Swan Lake? Those are all performed by beautiful ballerinas like Misty Copeland who wear pointe shoes. Pointe shoes are made of hard cloth, ribbons, and elastic that accentuate the dancer's feet. I'm Micah Davis, and I'm going to show you how to sew your very own pointe shoe. The materials you need to sew your pointe shoe is a nice sturdy chair, which is what I will use, scissors, needle and thread, mine already knotted, a marker, elastic, 2 pieces of ribbon, pointe shoe ribbon that is, and of course, your pointe shoe. Now, pointe shoes are very individualized and they must fit the dancer's feet to a T. So when you buy your pointe shoes, you want to make sure that you wear them in and try them on before you sew them. So I'm going to try mine on, like so. There you go. And the first step you want to do is sew your elastic on first. Your elastic is the most sturdiest part of your pointe shoe accessories that will get your shoe very supportive to your feet. So I'm going to see where I need my most support. And most dancers need support in their arch, like me. So I'm going to sew it around my arch. So I looked at my pointe shoe, and I'm going to mark it where my support is needed. Put a marker right there. See my mark right there? And now I can begin to sew. Now, most professional dancers sew their pointe shoes on the inside of their pointe shoe rim, so that's what I'm going to do. And all you're going to do is make sure you sew it through the elastic like so, and then through the rim of the pointe shoe. And all you're going to do is go through the elastic, then through the rim of the pointe shoe like so. And that's it. You're just going to go backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Give it a little tug every now and then just to make sure that it is nice and supported and that you're sewing it tight enough. Backwards and forwards. I like to go through it at least 5 times just to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. And once I get to a certain point, I give it a nice little tug and I cut it off. Just like that. Now I'm going to reknot it so I can sew the other side of my elastic. Now, pointe shoes come in all different shapes and sizes, like I said, because they fit the individual dancer's needs. And my pointe shoes originally came in a bright color pink, but I decided to dye them to match my skin tone. And some pointe shoes you can even buy in your natural skin tone. It's wherever you find it most. Now, as far as thread goes, any thread works when you sew on your pointe shoes. It just depends on the color of your pointe shoes and what you want it to look like. Most dancers use white because when you spray your pointe shoes, it'll be way easier to color white than it will be to color anyone else. Now, most dancers in general have about 3 or 4 pairs of pointe shoes because pointe shoes are very, like I said, they're very individualized. So some people have, stronger feet than others. Some people have weaker feet than others. It just depends on the person. All right, so now we're ready to sew our other elastic. And all you really want to do is just make sure it's even with the other side. Make sure you are sewing on the inside, and you're going to sew it through the elastic and then through the pointe shoe. And we're going to go backwards and forwards, just like we did with the other side. Backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Now, when you first get your pointe shoes, some people take a long time because they're brand new shoes. I've been sewing pointe shoes for years now, so this is pretty simple to me. But don't worry. Once you practice enough, you'll be able to do it as fast as me, if not faster. All right, give it a little tug to make sure it's nice and tight. Now, after you sew your elastic on, you must try your pointe shoe on just to make sure that it fits the correct way that you want it to fit. I'm going to put it on like so. And it fits very well. I feel very supported in my shoe. Now, the ribbon is just extra support that dancers need, and it looks very pretty with the shoe. So you're going to grab one of your 2 ribbons, and you're going to Let me make sure I knot my thread again. And you're going to make sure that it is not too close to the elastic, but not too far away. Remember, it's just extra support for your shoe. So you want to make sure that it is the right distance away from the elastic. Now the ribbons are a little more or less durable than the elastic, so I'm going to make sure that I have the right size knot in it. All right, ribbon, shoe. I found my elastic. I'm going to sew it on the inside just like I sewed this one, and make sure that it flows well. Not too close, not too far away. And you're just going to go backwards and forwards, just like we did with our elastic. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It's also a very clean, neat line when you go backwards and forwards, because it's just along the rim of the pointe shoe. It just follows the straight line of the pointe shoe. Once I got there, give a little tuck to make sure it's sturdy, and I'm off to sew the other side of the ribbon. Nice little cut. Going to knot it up to make sure that I'm ready for the other side. Now for me, I like to use one long thread. That way I don't have to keep cutting more thread off. One more knot. Same on the other side. Right next to the elastic, same on the other side. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Uh-oh. So like I said, you want to make sure that your knot is very good because the ribbon is less durable, so sometimes the knot just goes right through it, just like mine just did. So I'm going to double knot this time, just to triple check to make sure that my knot will not go through, and it'll be sturdy for my ribbons of my pointe shoe. Making sure that I flip it through very easily, and voila, double knotted. All right, let's try this again. So on the inside, making sure it matches the other side. Forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Now pointe shoes are made in many different places. I bought mine specifically from a place in Russia, and some of my friends have bought theirs from a specific place in Italy. It all depends on what dance store you go to. And look, we are done. We have our elastic, we have our ribbons, we have our sewn pointe shoe. And remember, the next time you see a ballet dance, such as the Nutcracker or Swan Lake, you'll know that this is how they sew their pointe shoes. Hope you enjoyed my speech. Thank you.